Okay, past the no entry. What is this? Alright, we're in an abandoned subway tunnel. I'll take that. Some kind of generator? Oh, generator controls. Okay. This control panel seems to connect the backup generators powering the use section. The readouts. Okay, so it still has backup power. If you could turn this off, you could prevent the night errant forces from getting in, except from the way you came. Sure. Gotta turn that shit off. Oh. Hey, what happened to the lights? Those jokers in Central promised we'd have power down here. Beats me, this place is falling apart. I wouldn't be surprised if the wiring was home to a pack of devil rats. The sooner this day is over, the better. Oh, they saw us? Shit. Oh, there's only 3 of them. Yeah, combat seems like the biggest slog in this game, actually. It actually turns out to be like the weakest part of this. Like, maybe I should have just made this into a story game and not worried about, oh, wow, I could snipe him from all the way down here? Damn. Oh, I could raise... Yeah, summon spirit? Always summon spirit. Ah, except I never have the AP to him anymore. I have to look up into what I can do to up my AP. There's barely any cover. Okay. Alright, Koshei, do your job. Control mode. Oh, I can't reach there fast enough. Let's go up here. Got you, time to rush that shit down. I mean, yeah, if you have no combat at all, it's like a problem. Hold on. Oh, god damn. Is that on my team or is that their team? Oh, okay, that's not good. I think that's Ractor. Oh, damn. He needs to heal. This is not looking good. Can I heal? I don't have a healing. Oh, no. Okay, Ractor's fine. It's the other guy that's not fine. Okay. Ractor, you're gonna make him... This is the extra AP, right? Yep. You're going in. I'm gonna go right here. Achievement unlocked, little helper. Critical hit. Uh-oh. How come he can't hit this guy? This guy's like right in his face. Alright, line of sight's kind of weird in this game. I don't know if Isabel should be, let's go over here. Oh, nice. Alright, got you. Oh, damn, he can run all the way across. Low chance to hit, though. Oh, this guy's better. Not wounded. This guy's on my team, I think, right? Oh. Oh my god, you could totally finish him. Oh damn, there's 5 people that are enemies. Okay. Oh, there's dogs. The Doge. The Doge. The Doges are coming. There's a lot of them. Alright. Time to attack some doges. Damn. Pretty low chance to hit regardless. Yeah. I mean, I shouldn't have counted on it. It's on 50%. Increase accuracy. Yep. Or I could just... Oh, the dog's a really good dodge, actually. Not that it matters. Chainsaw time. Oh, what? It missed? 70%? Alright, Gaichu. You're... time to feast. Yes. Oh, it hits adjacent enemies, too? Oh, come on. You guys can't even shoot it. Why are you moving forward? You're about to die. Oh, okay. Well, at least the dogs don't have range attacks, probably. Oh, it did 20 damage to my bot. Okay, armor's damaged. Alright, like a repair. Remote repair is a very weird thing. Okay, I have another. Oh, make this. Quickness plus strength. Yeah! Wow, got lucky. Gaichu might be in trouble though. Somebody got stunned. Alright, go punch those. What is the CPU doing? Just running forward, running back. You see how it just turns into a slog quickly? RNG is a bit of a problem. Go, Gaichu might be going down. I can't even draw him back. I can't even pull him out because he's stunned. To send in the bot to rescue him. Oh, and it missed, of course. Clearly can't count on these guys. Gonna run backwards again? Oh, yeah, stuck in a loop. Wonderful. No, please don't die. Oh, yo, he somehow dodged when he was stunned. 90% chance that I missed. Yes, wonderful. Isabel somehow making the big plays right now. Alright, give him extra moves. Yeah, he'll finish the job. Oh. No, I'm just gonna run where the dog can't get to me. Buff that elemental that hasn't moved. Wonderful. Alright. The dog can take cover. That's interesting. Isabel never misses lately. What's going on? Ah, there you go. Healed some HP, but that didn't matter. Where we go? Oh, there's some ley lines over there. There's probably more stuff. Oh, oh. Combat time. Okay. Crit 60%. Kill the mage first. Mages are always a problem. I don't know if I can. It's kind of weird that the cover doesn't seem to matter which direction it's in either. Okay. So he has two moves. He's gonna move here. Then he's gonna shoot someone out in the open. Wow, 87%. I missed two. Gaichu's gonna have to sit back for a while, because I don't think he has the health to deal with it. Sadly, I don't have a healer either. Just break your armor. Not that big a deal. Okay, that might be a big deal. Okay, let me see if I can get him out of cover. Overclock. Robot movement always good. Oh shoot, she's asleep. That's bad. Alright, allies, please do something in this battle. You see, it's really quick, easy to become mired in this game. In combat. I'm not sure what the happy middle ground would be. It's like getting bogged down in Magic the Gathering, if anyone's ever played that, where like, you know, both of you have huge guys on the ground, and since the defender has the advantage, oh man, that's not good. Alright, get out of there. Yeah. Guess movement up? Can I gentle? Yes, I can. Yeah, like when no one has any evasion and you have two just big armies on the ground staring each other down and you just waiting for some situation to change, basically. Or more like those Rock'em Sock'em robots, you just like smash into each other until one of your heads come off, pretty much. This guy has a lot of life. Okay. Alright, accuracy up. This should do it, probably. Oh, so much damage. The deeps. Nope, I missed. Alright, Gaichu, you're my only hope. Come on. Katana time. Swing! Yes. I think that's it. Okay. Nothing else here? Nothing else here. Damn, nothing? Yeah, this game is kind of weird. There's not much loot to be had, sadly. Oh, there's a... Oh, are you serious? There's a third group of runners? As you move through the MTR station, several figures move to interrupt your advance. The leader is obvious, a hulking brute of a troll. He cradles a heavy assault rifle in the crook of his cyber arm and reeks of stale cigarettes and casual brutality. The name Steeltooth is stenciled across the flak vest beneath his jacket. His eyes narrow as you approach. That's far enough for you, punk. My crew's had a long night. Nerves a little raw, you know, and crunching someone's face always brightens my mood. Let me speak in small words so you won't misunderstand. Give us the prototype laser, we're gonna kill you so hard your ancestors feel. Huh, Gaishu, I believe we are more than capable of killing this troll and his allies should the situation escalate. I would not be particularly concerned about their chances of survival. Alright, cigarette's done, which means you're... Yeah, you must be the idiot that Ares caught you twice trying to get in on one night. You came into the front door first and you came back dressed as a janitor. Oh, this guy's a nub, man. Get good. You want to keep your arms and don't tell anyone about that. Don't dump a payday like that. Laser at a tracking node. Tell us, we'll strip search you. Oh. The longer you hold us up, the closer we are to kill you. Tick, man, we gotta get out of here before cavalry shows up. Oh my god, this guy's an idiot. Why would this guy be the leader? Why would anyone follow this guy? Well, that's it. What will you do now? The usual, make a handoff, get paid. Probably take a few more jobs out there. Got a lot of debts to pay off, you know? Nothing's free in this life. Keep safe out there, okay? We all gotta stick together. If we don't, we end up with bullets in our back. Take care, Jarl. Jarl, I guess. I play Skyrim. Cyberpunk is a genre that's kind of probably coming back. There aren't that many. Well, the CD Projekt's making one. Neuromancer, I think it is. Yeah, I mean, I guess they're working on Gwent and Cyberpunk 2077 is their Cyberpunk game. The loss of the prototype laser is unfortunate, but allies are often more valuable than money. That's true. Too bad you get so little loot. Like the lack of stuff, items and stuff becomes even more. Yeah, it has this bare bones feeling because there's not that much loot and there's not that much. It's just not that much stuff. Okay. What now? Oh, let's see what the troll family. I'm really interested in this this orc / troll families thing. What does it matter? Things might be better if I drove everyone off and shut this place. Can't be forced to stay a bouncer if there are no bums to bounce, right? And it might just force the rest of them to take a hard look in the mirror. My mom could stop worrying about bills and inventories and all that crap. Callum could finally get out of here and save his own skin, and my bot could go back to doing what he was born to do, and change his mind about me doing it. What's the deal, Callum? What, you haven't figured it out? You talked to him, right? He doesn't belong here any more than I do, but for different reasons. Callum's not hard enough to survive in a place like this. If this city doesn't kill him one night, him drinking away his worries probably will before long. Funny thing is, I thought once I got out and made my fortune, I could set Callum up someplace nice. But that's not going to happen now, thanks to my boss. He'd rather see us both waste away here. Father found out your plans? Yeah, he heard me talking to someone about how I might link up with the Hell Thunder crew. He got real mad, dragged me aside like he was trying to pull my damn arm off. Thought we might come to blows. It will be the first time since I was a kid, and I could probably kill him now if I'm not careful. But he just wanted to yell at me. So much better for his health. He told me I was living in a fantasy land. He told me I wasn't cut out for the life I was looking to lead. He said it would get me killed. Ha. Worst part, he asked me why I can't be more like my brother. Just goes to show how little he knows about us. Callum isn't even cut out for the cozy life we have here in the club. Some sibling jealousy right here. I mean, it happens. Parents show favoritism. Oh, even more potential mercenaries. Sure, a bar is the best place to do drone repair. But the guy lives next door to me is doing some heavy-duty electrical work and is filling my apartment with static electricity. Didn't want to risk frying his little guy's guts. Yeah, gotta be careful of that stuff when you're building your PC too, when you're building your desktop. Gotta make sure to ground yourself, otherwise you might short out a piece of electronics. Ah, crap, it's gonna take more work than I thought. Ah. Nice to meet you. What to get a rigger? I always love cars, old ones, new ones, even the beaters that are falling apart and you have to hold them together with baling wire and chewing gum. I like drones too, but my first love was a 2034 Alfa Romeo Fernata. Drove that thing until the wheels fell off. Did some work with the Atlanta film industry at first as a stunt driver. That paid for my first vehicle control rig. It also got me into drone rigging, since smaller projects usually need camera riggers for aerial shots. Fun times, but the pay in the CAS isn't like it is in Hollywood. It's all small scale stuff. Sure is, but when your mom gets sick and you can't afford to pay her medical bills, you start looking for alternatives. You turn to the shadows, you find out there's all kinds of people who want getaway drivers, especially if the drivers also have drones fitted with high caliber weapons. Started to make a name for myself. Took some jobs for the Commander-in-Chief Mafia, smuggling things in and out of the Pueblo Corporate Council. And here I am. Once I got a taste for the adrenaline, I never looked back. Too much of a rush out here on the edge. I had this friend in Vegas, a real rich old money type from Dubrovnik. He'd fallen on hard times mostly because he couldn't play cards for shit. Great fixer though, because everybody loved him. He's the one who gave it to me. EOS, he said to me. Your new straight name should be EOS. Because whenever you show up, it's like the breaking dawn in my office. Could've charmed bees out of their hives, I swear to God. Last I heard, he finally got enough money to pay his debts and get the hell back to Europe. Sure hope he did. I like to imagine him sitting on the Adriatic, sipping a Negroni and reading a spy novel. I prefer type of job. Heist. Anytime we get in under a ticking clock racing against time and get away in a cloud of burning rubber, that's where it's at for me. One of the best jobs I ever had was a run in a branch of Frankfurter Bankverein in Nice. The cops were hot on our ass as soon as we got out of the vault because the decker had been dumped from the system before he could squash the alarm. So we rushed outside right, and our getaway car is a Skoda RK3 that I modded up with a supercharger and a kinetic energy recovery system. Didn't look like much, but man, that car could haul. We burned through those French streets like we were right out of an old Frankenheimer movie. Glorious getaway. Said it, the aftermath, glorious. 2 weeks lounging on the beaches of Corfu, eating fresh perch caught right on the rocks. Revion always wanted to poach it, but come on, you gotta grill fish that fresh. That's not Felicia. Oh. Alright, let's talk to this man about the argument he had with his son. Are you still with us? Just thinking. What about? Lots of things. The past, the here and now, what is and what might have been. I think about how many sailors drown every year and how I never once came close. I think about how it might have been for Irvine if I had. Lots of things have been preying on my mind recently. Last time you mentioned an incident, you want to mention it? Truth is, I wanted to talk about it, needed to talk about it, for a long time. I was a first mate by then on a big rescue and salvage tug. We were streaming out in the Pacific, down towards Saipan. A big container ship had lost power and was drifting. When we were 2 days out from Hong Kong, we picked up a distress signal. Our captain told us to ignore it, quoted some Wuxing corporate gibberish, and ordered our rigger to change course to avoid it. Truth is, we all knew why. That container was probably losing Wuxing $1 million yuan in lost revenues for every hour it drifted. I don't know why I did it, but I refused. Maybe it was on account of being a family man. Maybe I was just in the mood. But I couldn't leave those people behind. I demanded that the captain send us to assist, and when he didn't, I knocked him out. Well, everyone followed me. When we reached the signal, we found a small passenger ship well away from its regular route. No response to hail, so I went aboard with a small group. What we found was a horror show. Men, women, and children brutally butchered. But not outright killed. Some had died from the injuries, yes, but some were just missing an arm, a leg, or a foot. They wouldn't have lasted much longer, but they could have been saved. And that's when we realized it was a trap. The time it would have taken us to stabilize and move those people would have given the ones responsible the chance they needed to take our boat. They had meant to lure in a bigger ship. I grabbed my guys and we got out of there, full steam. I left those people to die. They knew it as we were going. Their eyes have haunted me ever since. So that was the end of my career. Wuxing let me go nice and quiet with a hush package. The law of the sea still applies. You've got help ships in distress when you can. Lucine didn't want anyone to know the captain of their rescue tugboat had tried to violate that. Ermine thinks I retired for the boys and for her. She wouldn't be able to look at me if she knew the truth. How are things between you and her? Not great, to be honest. It's true what the voice in my dream has been saying. Ermine doesn't need me. I'm useless around here. Better that I just stay out of her way. But it's more than that. We've had our share of problems over the years. My being absent for long stretches, her being left alone fending for herself while I was away. It wasn't easy for her, and I think she sometimes sought comfort elsewhere. I don't know who, and I don't know exactly when, but I can't help thinking it. I look at Callum sometimes. I'll always love him, but I'll also always wonder. It'd hardly be the worst thing to ever happen to me, but even so. Oh damn, this is a family drama intrigue deepens. Back again, I see. What is it about this place? The music, the sweaty bodies, or is it my messed up family that keeps bringing you back? Well, if you can keep it in the down low, I got news. I'm dying to share with everybody. You runner types are good with secrets, right? Sure. So I snuck off behind my mother's back. I can't believe those words are coming out of my mouth. No grown man should ever have to say that. But that's what I had to do, so that's what I did. I finally met this guy who wants to be my benefactor. His name is Matthew Ty. He's a human guy. He rolled up in the dock of a speedboat with guards and everything. Real slick dude. Like classy. Powerful classy. He asked me to call him Matt. Isn't that great? I hopped in and off we went. We had dinner together. It was a little strange, but I'm glad I went. The things he told me. For one, he said he remembers my mother. Apparently he knew her well. In fact, he said he knew her better than anyone back in Baihu. And that's partly how he came to know of me, I guess. But the way he talked about my mother, it was like, I don't know, there was something between them. He had this wistful look on his face and a smirk when he said her name. Probably the same kind of look on my face right now, like he was keeping a wonderful secret. I don't remember my father ever looking that way with my mother. Got me wondering about a lot of things. How was it weird? Got weird at the end, like there was more he wanted to say but couldn't. Maybe he didn't want to get my hopes up too high in case the whole arrangement didn't pan out. Not sure. The strangest part by far, though, was when his security detail busted our tables and bagged everything we had touched. Glasses, plates, utensils, napkins. Mr. Matt, said it was standard precaution for men in his position. Even the smallest genetic sample could be used to subvert biometric security systems, or it could be used in ritual magic. Never really thought about it before, but these are just the kind of things I think I could learn from this guy. It's fairly obvious. Maybe this guy is Callum's father. Yeah. And this guy can't put it together. At this point, maybe you're not cut out for the corporate life, dude. The dread creeping through Hioe has pervaded even the induced euphoria of Club 88. Our mind herself is not immune, looking to be caught between the need for rest and the inability to find the peace necessary for it. That's not a good time. Usually when I get involved. I'm not asking you to get involved, but something is wrong with these people, and me. I don't know about the rest of them, but I'm dead on my feet. Slept a solid 6 hours, but it was hardly restful sleeps. Bad dreams? Like none I've ever had. Vivid. More real than you standing here, and the memory refuses to leave me. I was 20 years younger. Young. Absolutely at home in my own skin, and happy. Happier than I remember ever being. Positively glowing. There was a man with me. It was Henry, but not the Henry I knew. This was Henry as he might have been if he had never goblinized. Handsome. Well-dressed, perfectly human. But when he smiled, there were too many teeth, and I knew it was a lie. Then I woke up clutching my stomach, feeling for bite marks that weren't there. I haven't been able to shake the image of that smile all day. Those teeth. They wanted to devour me and everything I hold dear. So thinking, worrying about Callum in that suit? I tried to put that period of my life behind me. I tried to forget what had happened, to move past it. I had to, or else it would have destroyed our family just as it was beginning. Some truths are best left buried. I can live with the shame. It was my own stupid mistake. But it should have ended there. The past should stay in the past. But this man will not be denied. He will lure Callum with promises of fortune, power, and prestige. He will offer him things I never could, just as he once did with me. Callum feels alone here, just as I did when Henry was away at sea. I'll kill this man before I let him take my boy from me. I don't care who he is, or what right he might claim. I suppose that is why I'm not sleeping well. The dreams. Well, let's get some, maybe some weapons? Yeah, better rifle for sure. Shotgun. Oh, actually I should have collected the money first. That's it? Oh, there's a sniper. Okay. Well, that sniper might be worth it. Alright, I'm gonna go turn in the... See what's up with maximum law. Yeah, I mean, like, this is like the most interesting part of the game, right? Talking to these inhabitants and what they're... about their plots and everything. Let's talk to Matthew. Reliable Matthew. Oh, what is this? Captain Jomo. Oh, okay. Oh, he's got the mask back on. What's this? Who the hell's... Or is that, hold on, let's save first. No? That's so weird how, like, sometimes you can't save. Alright, I'll overwrite. This guy start the thing? Oh. Come on, Jomo. Win, not lose. Maybe buy yourself that new hat. Play some kind of gambling game on his comlink. Oh, we gonna play pirate? Oh, this is one of the quests. Okay. Alright, Reliable Matthew doesn't have anything. Let's see if the other stores do. We might end up in the same, with Gindo. Alright, let's talk to Crafty. Anything? Oh, look. Oh, it's the same, copy of those notes. Okay, well, that's it. Okay, but I'm getting a copy of these notes. Alright. Looks like everything's going, pretty swimmingly. Oh, we could talk about Ractor to his, let's see what his loyalty missions. What's up with his loyalty mission? I wonder if they all have a mission. Mother's notes. Here it is. Hey, Legolas. Here are the notes you asked for. But before you dive in, a heads up. They're a complete transcription of that list from my mother's journal. As in, they're the thoughts and ramblings of an insane woman. It's not an easy read. Another dream. This time it was a near figure, a shadow, a wraith, faceless. I heard its voice, though it did not speak. And when I awoke, I was inside my home, though I had been in the city just moments before. Where am I? A weight dropped into me. I felt the words of the wraith in my skin, in the tips of my hair. I saw its mouth in my mind's eye. Rows and rows of it. Of lies. Morning. My hand was to the paper before I even knew what I was writing. I wrote the words, these words. They cannot lie. I added it to my list. Evening. Was it a king I saw? Was I really there? I was in the city, I'm sure of it. Then how did I end up here? Was I carried back? My list is growing. Soon with this knowledge, I will stop the kings. A step forward is a step backwards. A step backwards is a step forward. Each wraith has a name, a true name and a false name. Knowing their true name is knowing their weakness. To call them on their lies is to make yourself invincible. They will still try to eat you. They fear the feathers of unborn chicks. Kings must be one or the other. That is of the negative world, or positive. But positive doesn't necessarily make them good, nor negative make them bad. They simply are. Once a deal is brokered, it cannot be unmade. Kings and the planets are closely connected. When nearest the sun, their power wanes. When farthest, it grows. There is only one wraith. There is only one wraith. There may be two wraiths, but there is most certainly only one wraith. They must follow the laws of the universe, rules set in motion long ago. Should they concede defeat, all is lost to them. Kings are the rulers of us all. They take from us their lifeblood and with it parts of our soul. Do not give them what they seek, and you will be their match. They cannot lie. Morning, I made breakfast. It fell on the floor in the shape of my death. Another truth revealed to me. I added it to my list. It's all or nothing. They are all liars. Another dream. It was in white space. I could taste the colors as if it were air. This time, no voice. Just rows and rows and rows. And rows and rows and rows. A mess, I know. That's not a whole lot of significant material other than what I already picked up. But even that is contradicted within Mom's notes. Everything should be taken with a grain of salt. Meanwhile, I'll keep looking into it. Good luck on your end. Okay, so they can't lie. That's like a big... That's a big discovery, right? And they can't go back on their deal. Your payment is attached. I confess I am very pleased with your work. Huh. Back. Claim demon. That's it? Oh. Oh, 400. We can talk to Rector about how we succeeded, and it was glorious. Ah, my friend, you have done an admirable job. An admirable job indeed. I have already incorporated the technology that you recovered, my stolen tech, into a new chassis that I am fabricating for Koshei. You move quick? Yes, well, I've been waiting for this for a long time. The next time we take to the field, you can expect to find Koshei's combat effectiveness considerably improved. He has become truly deathless, just as his namesake was in the legends. When he takes damage, he will mend himself before your eyes. Sounds incredible. Nor can I, my friend. Nor can I. Well, that's it. Sorry about the smell. It's a long time to purge the coolant sump. If I had access to the proper equipment, this would not be a problem. I could clean the fluid and reuse it. But alas, halogen treatment chambers are rather hard to come by, even in a place like Hioi. Anyway, my friend, you didn't come to discuss the in and outs of shop maintenance, I'm sure. What brings you here? Any thoughts about that last run? A most wonderful outing. Excellent. I have my research back, my prototypes returned, all thanks to you. Oh, I suppose I can complain of Taylor and Hardingham's absence. I would have greatly enjoyed commanding Koshei to feed them their own entrails. But this is a small matter. I have my research, and I will catch up with them soon enough. Your choice to give away the laser prototype that we discovered confuses me, though. Why did you bother? We didn't know that other team anything. We were there first, and we were the ones who found the device. Ah, but it doesn't matter. A small thing, my friend, a trifle. The laser is nothing compared to my research. I am in your debt. About the drone self-repair system that you invented. How does it work? There were 3 distinct elements to my approach. When these elements were all working in concert, prototypes that utilized the process displayed remarkable self-repair capabilities. This may be a lengthy explanation. I can skim over it if you please, or I can break it down for you if you're genuinely interested. Give me the long version. Very well, the long version it is. The first element of my process was an outer skin that the drone could be wrapped in, a refinement of older biomimetic self-healing materials, modeled to emulate the self-repair capabilities of living beings. Imagine a polymer composite interlaced with microtubes, capillaries if you will. These vessels are capable of delivering bonding agents to the site of a wound as it occurs, thus healing it. I've heard of smart materials that operate on a similar principle. They've been around for decades, haven't they? Yes, though they remained uncommon until recently. As I said, my material was a refinement on those earlier designs. It was also only the first part of a system. The synergy between the 3 was what made the project work. The second element involved the underlying structure of the drone's architecture, the servos, gears, circuits, etc. Utilizing self-assembling materials and redundant systems, I created a system by which damaged components could be fabricated and replaced by the drone itself without any need for human interference. Alright, so you have self-healing skin and a self-replacing underlying structure. What was the third part? Finally, the system had a magical component. The corner of his mouth dips downward. I must confess a certain degree of ignorance when it comes to this portion of the project. I understand some of the theory behind what was done, but the specifics are beyond me. Not surprised, I thought this was your process through and through. Oh, it is. I was the one who recognized the need for a magical component, but I feel no shame in admitting that I cannot understand the specifics. I have a mind for figures and physics in the natural world. Magic works according to a different set of principles altogether. Truth be told, it makes my head hurt. Okay, so why do you need this third component? You said that it was your idea. In layman's terms, a magical element was necessary to render the system self-perpetuating. Obviously, no purely mechanical system can repair itself indefinitely. The synthetic skin becomes more brittle with every wound it heals, and the automated assembly components will eventually run out of materials to work with. As a rule, fighting against entropy is a losing proposition. But with magic, we can rewrite the rules, weaken the grasp of those entropic forces to the point that they are rendered negligible. Think of magic as the lubrication that keeps the gears turning. I wish that it weren't necessary, but I am also a realist, and I must confess that it is required for the system to work. And this is the technology we covered on the Ares run? Yes, that's right. My thanks again, my friend. I am in your eternal debt. What do you think that a post-human future would mean? Freedom. He takes a long drag on his cigarette, sucking the smoke deep into his lungs. When he speaks, it erupts from his mouth in a plume. The ultimate freedom to direct our own progress, and to steer ourselves as a people in whatever direction we wish. Consider, my friend, every aspect of Koshei was tailor-made for a purpose, dreamed up, designed, and built by a singular guiding intellect. Now think of the circumstances surrounding your own birth and the building blocks that shaped you into the man you are today. Your mother and father exchanged fluids, sloppily no doubt, and with all the mindless abandon that such biological imperatives entail. In the ugliest description of sex I ever heard. Ugly, perhaps, but accurate. Sexual intercourse is an inarticulate process, a messy delivery mechanism for genetic material spurned on by hormones and base urges. Any attempt to guide the process on a societal level gets branded eugenics and decried as monstrous for obvious reasons. But I digress. The point I was making was that the forces that shaped you, and me, and anyone else you care to mention, were ultimately mindless ones. Blind, manipulative, biological drives that led a sperm and a cell to collide. A sperm and an egg to collide. Add in a roll of a dice and a dash of Mendelian genetics, and here you are. The natural processes of evolution and sexual selection guide the development of our species through trial and error. Throw a few billion darts at the wall and see what sticks. In the future that I foresee, this process will be reined in, guided by our own controlling intellects. To co-opt an antiquated phrase, the myth of intelligent design will finally become a reality. But we will be our own gods, reshaping ourselves as we see fate. Biological evolution is full of choice, Rector. We choose who we mate with. That choice helps to determine the traits our offspring will inherit. Very true, but the pool of possible traits that biological reproduction can select for is small. If I wanted to reproduce offspring with gill slits instead of lungs, I'd be out of luck. But in a post-human future, I will face no such limitation. Nor would anybody. We would no longer be slaves to the selective process that have dictated our development since time immemorial. We will truly become the masters of our own fate. Let's say that you're right. At what point do we cease being human and become something else instead? Shrug. He shrugs. Whenever we choose to define ourselves in that way, humanity is an intrinsically human concept. If we decide to rebrand ourselves as a different species, that is our decision to make. I strongly suspect nobody else would care. So tell me, what do you want? What's the end game that you envision for this grand post-human future? Koshei raises himself on his legs, stretching so that Raktor can caress his chassis. The motion is alarmingly fluid, more like a living thing than a machine. Raktor traces his fingertips over the drone's shell, his eyes focused on an imaginary point on the horizon. We have placed such unnecessary limitations on ourselves, my friend. It fills my heart with sorrow to know what we could be, but are not. I would see those limits stripped away, peeled back and discarded, for the betterment of all. In the future that I foresee, we will open our eyes to the possibilities that surround us. Bodies reshaped to thrive in the deep ocean and the depths of space. Bodies inspired by nature, or the human imagination, or both. Bodies that can be used and shed and used again, inhabited as their wearers see fit. The timely realization of such future is what drives me forward. It is the cause to which I have devoted my life, and thankfully, it is inevitable. He tips his cigarette, setting ash spilling down onto the metal floor. Assuming, of course, that we don't destroy ourselves first. There's a hard limit to the fusion of man and machine. Doesn't your vision of the future require us to get past that? You're speaking of the essence limit, and the problems associated with essence loss. He releases a plume of smoke from the corner of his mouth. Yes, of course, it will be a problem. But as with all problems, a workaround will present itself. Of this I am certain. Are you basing that on anything, or are you just taking it on faith? He smirks at you. No, my friend, I am not taking it on faith. My beliefs are rooted in my own observations and experiences. For the time being, let us leave a matter at that. So in this post-human future you're trying to bring about, what role would a drone like Koshei play? A similar role to the one he plays now, I imagine. He was designed for a purpose, after all. That said, I can see the techniques that went into his design and fabrication having much broader ranging applications. You're pretty attached to that drone of yours, aren't you? You even assigned him it a gender. You keep calling it him. Yes, of course, Koshei is very close to me. As if on cue, the drone scuttles forward, the hardened tips of its claws screeching across the metal floor of the shop. It comes up short just in front of you, a strange mechanical chitter rising from deep within its chassis. You might accuse me of anthropomorphizing my little companion, assigning human characteristics to him when in fact there are none. Truth be told, there is much more to Kashi than what meets the eye, but that is a different conversation, one best suited to held for a different time. If that's what you want, it is. I have work to do. I am sure you can find better use of your time than listening to me to prattle on. And with that, I'm afraid I must ask you to show yourself out. We can continue and talk at a later date. Alright, talk later. That was a very long transhumanist rant. It is, I mean, I must confess, I do find that future alluring, right? For us to change our bodies and the world, however we like. Let's see, a pair of chopsticks. Chopsticks are a simple affair. Why do you keep these chopsticks? Gaichu bursts into unexpected laughter, almost dropping the sword as he doubles over. He managed to gasp out a sentence over a long moment. Oh my goodness, I had forgotten those were in the box. Tell me, have you heard of Tetsuya Nakamura? Is he someone important? He was a member of Shiwase's upper management for many years, running most of Shiwase's Envirotech's agricultural development. A very bright star in the corporate world. He died in 2052, and those chopsticks are what I killed him with. Chopsticks, really? They were the closest thing to a weapon I had at hand. Nakamura took his security very closely, and employed several highly augmented bodyguards. It was only through several months of extensive planning that we were able to get near him at all. When faced with a challenge, one is often forced to improvise with what is at hand. We had studied Nakamura's schedule painstakingly, particularly his twice-monthly trips to Neo-Tokyo. In Osaka, Shiwase's presence would have made any attempt on his life functionally impossible. In Neo-Tokyo, though, in studying his movement patterns, we discovered he would sit at a particular French restaurant in Ginza every second trip, at precisely 8:30 in the evening. It seemed he had a secret lover who lived in Roppongi, and he was visiting him during his business trips. Owing to this secrecy, he would give his bodyguards the night off when the two met. The restaurant in question was famous for its molecular gastronomy and the precision of their chefs, not to mention the view from the 38th floor. We managed to secure reservations near Nakamura's usual table, but only for two of us. It was decided that Sasaki and I would be the pair to kill Nakamura. Ishida and Aomori would wait one floor below, and Takagawa would keep watch from a nearby skyscraper. We carried small but high-powered pistols as well as tactical knives. We expected it to be easy. So what went wrong? As I rose to draw my pistol on Nakamura, his lover somehow knew what was happening. He shrieked bloody murder and burst into flames. We discovered after the fact he was a very powerful mage, but we hadn't discovered this in our surveillance. Somehow he managed to throw a barrier over the two that deflected my bullets. When I pulled my knife, it turned red hot. I was forced to drop it. Sasaki engaged them in a contest of wills. I'm not sure how that kind of magic works, but could not shatter his barriers. She was too busy dodging the lightning bolts he was throwing, and since the flames had set off the fire systems, well, it was not easy. Nakamura broke and ran, and I pursued him. He had a small holdout pistol, a PB-120 or something similar, and I grabbed the nearest weapon I could find. Gaichu gestures towards you with the tip of his sword, those chopsticks. I slid them up into his brainstem and through the trachea. He died without making a sound. Not that I would be able to hear it over the sound of Aomori's machine gun rattling one floor below. Apparently the bodyguards were not truly given the night off and were still nearby. What happened to Nakamura's lover? Takagawa managed to punch through his barrier with a well-placed 408 caliber slug from across the street. It didn't kill him, but it broke his concentration. Sasaki finished the rest. With the windows blown out, we fast roped down the side of the building and disappeared into the night. It was not the cleanest job, but it was very memorable. I still remember the smell, ozone and bicamel, mixing with cordite and vuve. Click home? I don't know. Examine the page. The page is old and highly stylized. Calligraphy is handwritten. The style is so artistic, in fact, as to be functionally illegible to you. This page seems to be missing a book, Gaichu. Yes, but that page is all I wanted from the book. I look out from this cloudless mountain at moonlight on the sea. Its islands so many rents in a sheet of ice. The poet Saigyo. He was a master at conveying a sense of solitude and emptiness, and I've always found that poem to echo what I feel inside. Are you the mountains or the islands? So often it feels as if I am contained within a ball of ice, floating through the void of this life, cold and solitary. The moments I can share with those who have truly mattered to me chip through that frost and let me scream out that I am not alone. Oh, we haven't even physically talked to him yet. Pardon me for continuing my exercise. I feel I've been letting him slip of late. Were you getting rusty? No, that's not quite it. Rather, I wish to learn to bring my enhanced strength and speed to bear. In doing so, I must ensure that my blindness does not hinder me. Perfection is a journey, not a destination. Gaiju lifts the sword, offering it edge first towards you. Do you see that edge? Forged by one of the finest swordsmiths in modern Japan. Diamond-coated edge, capable of cutting even the most hardened ceramic armors. But what good is a sharpened edge without the precision to apply it? When I was still a man, I could have cut a single pea in half with my eyes closed. Oddly, after becoming blind, I cannot replicate this feat. I think soon I will be able to perform this feat again. I simply have to train my body to ignore the senses that it no longer has, and pay attention to the new ones. Now, what would you like to discuss? Any thoughts about that last run? A good run, I think. Unexpected complications, perhaps, but all told, we were quite successful. With any luck, the Red Dragon will be paid a visit by Knight Errant Security, and soon. Despite the other team, we sowed enough chaos that I doubt the Ares will realize our deception. I think giving the other Shadowrunners the laser may have been the wisest course of action in the long run. The Shadows do not forget favors like that, and help in a time of difficulty is often the difference between life and death. Besides, I doubt we needed another weapon. We are quite effective as is. Has it been difficult to learn to fight being blind? It is not the easiest thing I have attempted, but neither is the hardest. Placing a sword off to one side, Gaiju turns to you. Emptiness as form is one of the great lessons of Hagakure. Train sufficiently, and both swordsmanship and obedience will come instinctively. That is the closest to perfection a man can attain. I don't put a whole lot of stock in being obedient. A lawless Shadowrunner have authorities problems with authority? My goodness, I would never have guessed such a thing to be the case. When I was new to the unit, I thought to be a good samurai was the ultimate goal. That to serve justly with dedication was the greatest honor a warrior could have. We were all young and foolish, I suppose. That kind of ideology only serves the powerful. There are those that require a rigid structure and hierarchy in order to prosper. For them, that kind of regimented life is for the best. And it is no surprise that they serve the powerful. What are the Red Samurai, if not an organization pledged to serve the elite? I had thought it was such for me as well, until the ambush in Fukuoka. We were taught that we were superior to everyone, that since we were pure humans and Japanese, we would always win. I believe that most never questioned the validity of this claim, even when confronted with the direct evidence to the contrary. Tell me about when your old unit ambushed you. Very well. My time in Fukuoka was tense. Since leaving Kenshinhan, Keihanshin, I had been careful to stay out of sight by moving on foot or in the back of automated delivery vans. I was running out of food, however, and needed to be in the city for that. Fukuoka is just big enough to get lost in, but not so large that a ghoul sighting could go unnoticed. I hid in abandoned buildings, the storm drainage systems, and for 2 weeks I managed to stay hidden. The strain of having to constantly move was wearing on me. However, I made a mistake. What happened? I had to get out of Japan, but for all of my contacts in Fukuoka had come up empty-handed when I asked for a way to China. I was running low on on money, and I could feel the team catching up with me. A contact of mine in Kumamoto owed me a favor, and arranged passage for me if I could reach the city in 48 hours. Gaiju closes his eyes, resting his face in one palm. If I had taken my time, I could have made it to Kumamoto without incident, but I let caution slip when I got this email. I thought that if I disguised myself, I could take the train there and get out before my unit got any closer to finding me. I still don't know how they found me. Magical tracking, perhaps? Or simply a well-developed spy network. Regardless, they found me. They were waiting for me at Hakata Station. It was an ambush. That's a very public place for an ambush. It is. I suspect their orders were clear, however. Do whatever it takes to kill me. Civilians expendable. For units like the Red Samurai, ordinary laws do not apply. The mission's success is the only concern. I had taken steps to disguise myself as best I could, relying on the sheer number of people to conceal my presence. I suspected that the team might attack while I was in public, but I did not realize just how expendable the civilians were. When they blew the C4 charges over the station's western entrance just to box me in, I realized how much I had underestimated them. I assumed that a train had derailed, honestly. But then I smelled the telltale acrid vapor of explosives. Once you smell it, you will never forget. The plastic explosives that we used had a particularly sharp odor, like old cheese. Something had to do with an olfactory tag and added to help track it if it was stolen. I remember stumbling through the dust and debris, trying to find my way to the rail platforms. They attacked from all sides, using the confusion to strike at me once. I could hear Ishida and Takagawa behind me. Aomori and Sasaki charged out of an access corridor just ahead of where I had been standing. Sasaki threw a firewall down behind me, cutting off retreat while Aomori started firing. Sounds like you didn't have much choice but to defend yourself. He nodded. Lips pursed. Yes, that is so. Training took over. I knew I had to survive, and I was not thinking of anything but survival. So I charged Sasaki and Omori. They were only 15 meters away from me. The only advantage I had was that they were as blinded by the dust as I was, but I could still hear and smell them. Sasaki threw a lightning bolt at me, but I managed to roll under it. As I came up, Omori's light machine gun was swiveling down. I felt time stretch out as I stared down the barrel. I caught Omori in the throat with the tip of my sword. It was a maneuver I practiced hundreds of times before. There was no resistance as I cut through his trachea, and he fell as I rolled to the side. I could hear him choking for breath as he dropped. It was strange to think how clear that memory is even now. He was your friend. That kind of thing will stick with you. Gaichu snorts. Spare me the 2 yen psychiatry. Obviously what you say is true, but the memory sticks with me so strongly for another reason. It was in that strike that I realized who I truly was. My whole time with the Red Samurai, I had focused on ensuring I was worthy of the team. Everyone felt that way, but I felt it more acutely than most. I have always wanted to be the best, the fastest, the most precise. In the Red Samurai, I felt that to be less than perfect would be to let the team down. We were always told how lucky we were to have been accepted into the unit. The moment my sword struck Omori, I knew I would survive the fight. They attacked me as they would an animal. They seemed to be counting on hurting me into Takagawa and Ishida. Omori didn't even try to get out of the way of my sword strike. I recall his eyes going wide. He looked surprised that I was using a weapon and not my claws. They underestimated you. Gaichu nods sharply. They thought they were fighting a beast. I would never have underestimated them as they did me. All the lessons I taught them about close combat thrown out the window as soon as their preconceptions entered the battlefield. Disgraceful. As I killed Omori, I realized it is not that I was unworthy of the Red Samurai, but that they were unworthy of me. What did it mean that I, an infected monster that was less than a beast, could still defeat the finest soldiers in the world? Red Samurai doctrine taught Omori and the others not to fear me, and this overconfidence would be their death. I realized I progressed beyond their ability to understand. My sword was as accurate as ever, but they could not account for it due to ideological blindness. That's the danger of letting ideology overrule facts. Precisely. All those years, I was worried I was not good enough to be a member of the Red Samurai. That somehow they had been pulling my weight. But I had been blind to all the ways in which we were not training, or had avoided the harsh truths about our own ability. We were so often told of our own excellence that I wondered if we had ever truly been tested. Sasaki was the next to fall. As I turned away from Omori, I realized she must have seen me strike him. Her eyes were wide. Wait, isn't he blind? How would he know that? And I could feel her fear and anger as she tried to summon another spell. She seemed caught between healing Omori and attacking me. Gaichu taps himself on the forehead just above the right eye. It was there, on Sasaki. A downward stroke from Jordan's stance. She had hesitated, just as Omori had. I felt the life go out of her, like someone had deflated a tire. She just slid down into a pile. I think she was trying to ask me how when I ran. What about... My goal was survival, not victory. Takagawa was too far away, and I did not see Ishida. I only smelled him, so I ran. The trains had been shut down due to the explosion, but as long as I could get out of Hakata Station, I knew I could escape. They did not follow me out of the city proper. From what I heard via the Matrix, the event was reported as a terrorist attack that was thwarted by brave Renraku Ward soldiers. Brave, foolish soldiers. If you killed 2 of them, why are they still hunting you? Gaichu does not answer immediately. He seemed uneasy with the question, fidgeting with his fingers. I am unsure why that will make a difference. Can you explain what you were driving at? If you train with your unit so extensively, won't it be impossible to replace the ones you killed? I see. I think your mistake is in seeing this from a practical perspective. The problem is emotional, not mechanical. The nature of Red Samurai assignments is such that when losses are generally 0, or the entire team. In those rare cases when Red Samurai teams suffer partial losses, the remnants of the impacted teams are shuffled together and undergo retraining. Sasaki and Omori would undoubtedly be replaced. The problem is that I cannot be replaced. Simply put, I am not dead. Ordinarily, a missing Red Samurai would be considered dead for purposes of reorganizing teams, but Renraku knows precisely what has happened to me. What's more, my failure to do my duty reflects badly on the unit. Others will undoubtedly resist joining my former squad, as it has been tainted. So until they kill you, nobody wants to join the club? Yes, that's the case. They cannot move forward and rebuild the core of the unit unless I die, both because of their own expectations and the stain on their honor. Even if they accepted my decision, the rest of the Red Samurai would not. They have hunted me in Japan, Shanghai, and Beijing, and now I am certain they will hunt me here in Hong Kong. The cycle will continue endlessly for the foreseeable future. Such is the way of things. You sound as trapped in the past as they are. What do you mean by that? They have been hunting me. I'm simply trying to make a new life for myself. I fail to see how this is my doing. You're capable of striking back at them. Why aren't more of them dead? Gaishu's expressions are. You think our battles have not been in earnest? You believe that I should have been more efficient in defending myself? You define yourself by the opposition to your old life. What? Blinking a few times, Gaishu leans closer to you. I am unsure that I clearly understand your meaning. Can you explain yourself more clearly? Think about it. You get to live as the Ronin Red Samurai, unfairly cast out by his unit. Ah, and you believe that absent that opposition, I would have little to define myself? That is a very cheap philosophy and unworthy of you. What have you accomplished other than simply surviving? A free man who can choose to live as he pleases. I seek to perfect myself, my skills, and my abilities in combat. Perhaps this is not the path I would have walked when I was younger, but I have been a soldier for so long I cannot imagine devoting myself to any other trade. This does not mean I am tied inextricably to my unit. It simply means I am shaped by my history, as are we all. I appreciate your concern about my history and my unit, but I assure you, I am doing alright. I must learn to adapt to my new condition and lifestyle on my own. The time will come when they will find me in Hong Kong. So what will you do about your unit when they come looking for you in Hong Kong? I am unsure. You have given me a great deal to consider, and I do not mean that lightly. There are several actions and possible outcomes I foresee. I could, as I have before, relocate to another city, flee Hong Kong, travel to somewhere further afield, Lagos perhaps, or Montreal. It would have to be some place where Renraku's influence was minimal, and where the unit's presence would be immediately noticeable. That has been my plan of action in the past. I could also keep a low profile, staying here. Hope that they are unable to find precisely where I am hiding. Undoubtedly, Ishida would command the team to keep looking. I believe it would only be a matter of time before they found me, but if it were a sufficiently long time, they might be recalled. I could also confront them, draw them out into the open at a time and place of my choosing. They are nothing if not predictable in their efforts to follow Red Samurai operational doctrine. That plan could succeed, but it could also put you and civilians at risk. I am unsure how I would draw them out in the first place. I mean, do you really want to live your life with this hanging over you? You need to find a way to fight them. I'm unsure if that is the wisest course of action. I'm going to need to think about this a great deal. Okay, I'll talk to him later. That was a lot. Oh. Oops. Well, I guess we keep talking. Please mind your step. I fear I made a mess, and many of my possessions are quite delicate. I would be rather upset if you were accidentally crushed under your sleep. I'll try to. I am simply thinking about the chain of events that brought me to Hong Kong. I have been considering our talk about my former unit, about what my plans are, with regard to their incessant hunt and need for closure. I began to think that I too need closure. And then not only to the hunt, but to our dance around the core issue. One of us might die, and that the other might live. As it is, we are locked in stasis. How do you plan to accomplish that? That is the question I have bent my mind to answering ever since we last spoke. It is not an easy question to answer. My initial thought was to strike at a secure Renraku holding, something valuable enough to draw the attention of the Red Samurai, and ensure that the Renraku reported that a ghoul was involved in the mission. It turns out that was not necessary. I began searching the Shadowlands BBS for any jobs against Renraku holdings here in Hong Kong. It is surprisingly easy to use the Matrix when you can read postings with your fingers. Slower than direct interface, but certainly possible. I also began to offer a reward for information on Red Samurai teams known to be in the city. A modest reward, nothing that would attract too much attention, but enough to keep people interested. This bore fruit. A Red Samurai team arrived here a short time ago, smaller than normal size. Sounds like it could be them. It is definitely them. My contact described Ishida and Takagawa perfectly, as well as a new heavy gunner, most likely from another disgraced squad. What's more, he described a woman who looked exactly like Sasaki, but with a scar here on her forehead, precisely where I cut her. I expect you want to catch them off guard. Surprise is the husband of victory. There is an essential law of combat. There is no such thing as a fair fight. Only a fight you win or lose. I have no intention of allowing them to set the terms of the fight. I have found a job I am certain will draw a Red Samurai response. Renraku is moving a prototype drone through Hong Kong on the way to a research facility in Chiba. It is of a new design, implementing machine learning and pseudo-intelligence. Gaichu stands, smiling wryly. Something that advanced would certainly attract the Red Samurai team should someone attempt to steal it. What if another team responds? That would be impossible. Red Samurai stationed at research facilities, black laboratories, and other high-security areas. Renraku has no such facilities in Hong Kong at the moment, as most of their holdings of that type are in Taiwan. My foreigner unit will be the only one close enough to respond to the threat. The Johnson for this run is a Renraku scientist escorting the drone. He wishes to leave Renraku's employ, but is unwilling to risk reprisal should he escape on his own. To put it simply, he wishes to make it look like he was killed during a robbery, hence why he wishes the experimental drone stolen. If there is no body, there will be no investigations into his whereabouts. So we can kill two birds with one stone? Precisely. I can rid myself of my pursuers, and he can be free of their yoke. While I owe this man no loyalty, I think I understand his sentiment. Besides, we will be receiving payment for this job. Sounds good to me. When do we leave? As soon as we are ready, I will message Mr. Johnson and let him know we are prepared to fake his murder and be ready for our arrival. I suggest you prepare as well. The Red Samurai are excellent combatants, not to be taken lightly. Oh, there's another loyalty quest. Alright. Let's take a little nap. Talk to Gobbet and, Oh. Something is wrong with her mouth. Uh-oh. Whoa. Run your teeth. The molar on your left side, it feels strange. You apply a little pressure to the tooth and it slides free from its moorings. It's as if nothing was ever holding in place to begin with. As the tooth comes free in your hand, an image etches itself in your mind. A great chamber, hazy in form and outline. Clouds of red mist that filled the air, perfuming with salt and copper. Great columns stretching up above from the ground to pierce the sky. And above it all, the enormous grinding gears of a broken machine. In the distance, you can hear a sound. A desperate, frantic pounding. Something enormous at the door. Many somethings. All desperate to get in. Scrabbling and scratching and scraping, but unable to find purchase. The way in is locked. You feel a tremendous sense of accomplishment. You've done it. The others are trapped outside, blind and starving, unable to pass through the door. The chamber, and what lies beyond it, are yours. A shrill giggling noise fills the air, like the laughter of a small child, mixed with the shivering screech of countless violins. The sound reverberates down your spine like an electrical current. The intoxicating aroma of meat fills your nostrils. You have been starving for 1,000 years. Soon it will be time to feed. Just like that, it's over. The images fade, dissipating like vapor. Only the tooth in your hand remains. Okay, maybe you should stop sleeping if you're going to keep losing teeth like that. Let's see if Duncan's got anything. We have stuff to talk about. What are you looking at on the PDA? A video of Edward saying? Can I see it? Sure, why not? The footage shows a serious Chinese man in an expensive suit sitting behind a large solid wood desk covered in blueprints. The man is holding a magnifying glass over one of the plans and studying it intently. He unfolds the blueprint over and checks the one beneath it. The nameplate on the desk reads Edward Sang, Vice President of Special Projects. The video is rough and contains no sound. It may have been footage for a documentary that was never completed. The next shot is from some sort of planning meeting in a glass-encased, enclosed conference room. The serious man is sitting at the conference table, pointing to a large map and looking up at the men standing around him. He's explaining something. They look at each other and nod, clearly impressed by what he has to say. The whiteboard at the end of the room bears the words, groundbreaking, 21st May 2022. Written bold characters, Raymond's writing. The footage cuts to a scene of two people talking at the end of a long hallway. They don't appear to know they're being recorded. It's a serious man, listening intently to what an older woman has to say, nodding with his arms crossed and his thumb at his lips. The woman is the same one that was shown to you in the tapped video call that Kindly Cheng has shown you. Josephine Sang. She is somewhere in her late middle age, beautiful, and very clearly in charge. The two look up at the same time, see the camera, and begin waving their hands for it to be turned off. The woman appears angry but cold. The video ends and Wu puts the PDA face down on his bunk. Who is that guy? The guy who cleaned us up, gave us a home. Not this guy. This guy's some corporate big shot. The man who raised me was a community organizer. He wore sweaters. Maybe when we find the plastic-faced man, we'll get some answers. Until then, Raymond Black is Raymond Black, and this guy is someone else. Been thinking about the way you and Raymond used to butt heads. Smoking. Yes. Yeah, that's right, I was smoking, and he was pissed and said that fat kids who smoke die faster. So just to be obstinate, I told him I liked to smoke, and we got into it. Then you came in and diffused the whole situation. I think that's why I was so resentful when you took off, especially after Mrs. Maloney died. You were the only one who can get through to him when he became an intense array. Oh, that's it? Okay. Let's see if Gobbets have anything. Isabel, probably nothing until we do her quest, so... Damn, we still have a lot of missions. Oh, Gobbet's gone. I don't know where she ran out to, but she looked upset. She just said something about friends in trouble and then left. By the time I could disconnect from the octopus, she was on her way out of town. She must have gone back to the sinking ship. I don't like the sound of that. She tell you what went down there all those years ago? Yeah, but yeah, she's been worried about Cadmus and Malvina. She said that she thought it was nothing, though. She changed her mind. So we better go and get her, hadn't we? Let's do it. Oh, there it is. All okay, yeah. I really like it when all your companions get side quests, like, you know, actual side quests. I think that's the one thing that Chrono Trigger did, like, best the first. It was the first one to do that, where every one of your characters had a side quest. All right. Damn, I think that took enough time. Yeah. Till next time.